what comes in your kit? First is 4 photo corners, okay? Then you're going to get 2 of these lock rings. I'm going to make sure they open and close before you get them, and a coin envelope, okay? Those are kind of the odd pieces. In addition to that, you're going to get 1 piece of 110-pound cardstock that is 11 by 5.5. You're going to get 1 piece that is 5.5 by 2. Then you are going to get 14 pieces. This is still 110-pound cardstock of 2¼ by 2¼ and then 6 pieces that are 1 inch wide and 4 inches long, okay? In addition to that cardstock, you're also going to be receiving 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 inch squares. There's going to be 14 of those as well. And then you're also going to be getting 12 of these, which are 1/2 inch wide and 3 1/4 inches long. For our actual decorator paper, you're going to get 1 piece that is 5 inches by 3 3/4. You're going to get 14 pieces that are 2 by 2. Hey, get over there with your friends. And then you're also going to receive 12 actually, of the 3 3/4 by 3/4 inch. And these are double-sided. This paper is double-sided, so that's going to come into play in a little bit. That is everything that is going to come in your kit. Now remember, your piece is going to be pre-scored and all of that, so don't worry about it. You're just going to have to basically put this one together. And there's 2 options for finishing that I will give you, and we will talk about those as we go through it. In addition to what comes in the kit, you're going to need some glue. I recommend glue on this, not tape. If you're going to use tape, don't use it on the base. Only use tape on like the numbers, okay? So glue is the preferred on this one. You're going to want probably some ink and a dauber. You're definitely going to want a scoreboard and a scoring tool. You're going to want a pair of a hole punch that has a depth gauge on it. That's kind of important here unless you want to do some measuring. You are going to need a ruler, a pencil, a pair of scissors, and if you want, a corner rounder, okay? So that's about it. Everything's already trimmed for you. All you have to do is put this one together. So I'm going to get everything kind of out of the way here, and then I'll be back, and I'm going to show you how to put this together, okay? Now remember, all of the measurements and score marks and everything are going to be in the description below, as well as a link that goes over to my Google Drive if you'd rather get a printable version, okay? I'll be right back. All right, first thing we're going to do is get out our scoreboard. We're going to take our piece of 5.5 by 11. We're going to place it with the 11-inch side across the top here, and we are going to score this simply at 5.5. Okay, then on this side we're going to go to 1 3/8, turn it around, and go 1 3/8 on the other side. Okay, now here's the trick. We're going to mark this. We don't want to score all the way. We just want to mark this at about 1 2 3 4 5/8. We just want to put a little mark in the middle. We're going to do that on both sides. 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm going to put very light pressure so I can feel the groove, but not so that it actually scores it. And then I'm just going to put a mark about halfway. Okay? It'll become apparent later. If you want to do that with a pencil, you can certainly do it with a pencil. You just need to come in here, mark your 5/8 of an inch right here. You'll mark it on either side, and then you can just put in your line using your ruler, or put a dot in, whatever you want to do. But basically you want to kind of create a mark here and on the other side. Okay, so then we're just going to take this and we're going to fold it in half. We're going to make sure that we line it up edge to edge, corner to corner, and then you're going to use a bone folder or your finger, whatever works for you, and you're just going to score that top line. Okay, then we're going to fold these. Now we're going to fold these in towards the center. So we're going to fold this over, burnish this, We're going to fold this one in. We're making sure that we line these sides up, okay? We're going to burnish this one. Now, there's two ways that you could do this. If you want, you can take your 2-inch piece and you can score it or fold it or whatever you want to do down the middle, so at 1 inch. And then you can fold this in half and burnish this. And this will make this so this is a standing easel that stays standing, and you just press it flat. And what you would do is you would glue this on this side with the fold up. So you want to glue it on the inside. And once that would be dry, then you would glue this end to that, okay? And then that allows you to fold this in half. The other option is to cut with your scissors up to that little mark right here, and then slide the two ends together. Okay, so it's two ways of finishing this. Personally, I like to make the easel, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take my piece of paper with my fold facing up. I'm going to make sure that I put some glue in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this end on just shy of my score line. Okay, so right there along my score line. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the other side. And I'm going to bring this up. And I'm going to put this just shy of my score line. Making sure that I have it edge to edge correct. Okay? And that creates my easel, and it means that I can fold this up, okay? So that is how we build the structure. So it should look like this, okay? And we've got this nice piece in here that's reinforcing this. Then we have to decide which side is our front. I like this side. If you are going to ink anything on this, you need to do it before you put it together, okay? So I am going to get out some ink and a corner rounder, and we're going to go through those portions now. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to talk about how this all sort of fits. So first things first is, this is our base mat. Now, do you want this to have round corners? Because if you do, keep in mind that you can't really round these. This is very thick here. This is 3 layers of 110-pound cardstock, and I don't know a corner rounder that's going to go through that. Okay? So I think that this should stay square, but that's entirely up to you. But I'm just going to go ahead and ink that as is. Now, when it comes to putting our number boards on, you can dry fit this and take a look at it. And how do you like the look? Do you like it like this, or do you want the corners rounded? Entirely up to you. I like my corners rounded, so I'm going to go ahead and round all the corners here, and then I'm going to start inking everything. I don't think I'm going to ink these pieces. I think I'm going to just ink my mats. I'm going to see how that looks, okay? Now, do keep in mind, as you're building this, that this is double-sided paper. So if you want to do some of them this direction, by all means, make sure you ink both sides, so that when we start to set these up, you can kind of decide what you want to do. All right? So I'm going to go ahead and get started inking up all of my paper, and I will be right back. Okay, so once we have everything inked up and we've inked around all of our edges, we're going to start to assemble this. So I'm going to be putting some glue on here. And then I am going to put this on the front. And I'm going to make sure that I've got equal distance all the way around, top, bottom. And I'm just going to push that down. Now once I have that on there, I'll set that aside and we'll start assembling these. So these are pretty simple. We're just going to take one of our 110-pound cardstock, and we're going to be putting one of our pieces on it, and then we're going to be covering that with one of our white pieces. So I decided I kind of like this look the best. I just like the way that this looks, and then with the background of the keys. So I'm going to be putting some glue on the back of this. And this is the part where you can use, if you want to, you can use some tape on this, if that makes life a little easier for you. I'm just going to set that on there nice and straight. And then I'll glue down my white piece on top. And that is how we are going to build our mats, okay? And these are going to be what is going to be holding our numbers on the front here. So you have to decide which one of these you want to see on the front. Now I did ink one of these on that side so we could take a look at it. So let me get that out of there. It's the first one I did. So it should be this one here. Okay. So the look is entirely up to you, which one you want to go with. I just thought this had a cleaner look to it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue all of these together, and once I have them all together, I'll stack them up and we'll move on to the next part, okay? All right, so it is time to move on to the next part of this. And for that, we're going to want our hole punch. And we're going to set this for about 1/4 of an inch, give or take 3/8, and then we're going to lock this down. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our ruler and one of our little cards, and we're going to put the ruler across here. And this is 2 1/4 inches, so we're going to go 1 1/8 inches. And we're just going to put a small pencil mark there so we know where that is, because that's where we want to punch our hole. And then I am going to make sure that I put my hole punch and go straight over that mark to where I've locked this in, and I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole. Okay, then I can erase that little pencil mark. Nobody's going to notice it. And then I'm going to use this as a guide to punch holes in the rest of these little cards. And once I get all of these, and it doesn't matter what side I punch the hole on, once I get all of these punched, then we're going to move on, and we are going to punch the hole into the base itself. So let's take a look at that real quick. Get this out of the way. We're going to bring this over. Again, we're going to be using our ruler and a pencil, and we're going to be using one of our little pieces here. There we go. And I like to do this with the ones that have the holes in them, because that's going to give me my true look here. And I'm going to leave some space between them, and a nice pretty balanced space on either side. And then I'm just going to mark right above my hole with a little light pencil mark, because that's going to tell me that's where I need to come into. And then I'm going to hold this flat and take my hole punch. I'm going to go right over my mark. There's my mark to the same depth, and I'm going to punch a hole. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to find my mark through the opening, make sure it's in the center, and I'm going to punch my hole on that side. Okay, that's so that when I put these on here, look, perfect. Okay. Then again, I'm just going to erase my little pencil marks. Can't even see them. And I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to finish punching the holes in all of these, and then I'll be back, and we're going to talk about the next step in the process, okay? All right, so these are all done. We have popped holes into all of them, and we're simply going to make 2 piles here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that should leave 10 for the other pile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay? Now, you're going to get out that white envelope, and inside of it is, surprise, die cut numbers. These are the perfect size for these cards. Ha ha ha. Okay, but there's a little trick here. You have two, let's see, 1, 0, 1, 2, and 3, because there's no such thing as a 40th day. And then on the other side, you're going to have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So you should find 2 zeros, 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, and then 1 4, 1 5, 1 6, 1 7, 1 8, and 1 9. Okay? And all you're going to do with these is glue them onto the cards. Now, if you don't want to use these and you have a different one that you want to use, or you want to stamp it on there, whatever you want to do, that is entirely up to you. I simply included these so that you would have them and that they would be the right size. And being that we're using a typewriter paper, this is a type font, and I thought it would look pretty cool on there. So we're just going to glue these on. Now, if you have a Xyron and you want to make these into giant stickers or something like that, by all means do that. Whatever works, okay? I'm going to get these all glued on. 0 through 3, and then 0 through 9 on the other stack. And once I have these all glued on, then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how we're going to move on to the next portion of this. And then when we get that all done, we'll start working on the final assembly. Oops. Don't want to put my 3 on backwards. Okay. There we go. All right. So I'm done with those. I'm going to finish up the rest and I'll be right back. Okay, so for the next part, we're going to get out our strips and you're going to get out some stamps. Now, if you have something already that says January, February, March, use that. If you don't, you can use one of these rotary stamps and just put in the months. You can use your click letters, or if you have some of these smaller letter stamps, alpha stamps, you can use those as well. It just depends on what you want to use. Let me get these out of the way. Now, I like to make sure that I have it in a good line, so I am going to be using my click letters because those I can snap together and I can just stamp and be done. So I'm going to get out some ink here. And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp on the white part, okay? So I'm going to do a nice little test stamp. Looks good to me. I might want it a little bigger, but I think that's good enough. I think I can read that. So I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side. And I'm going to take one of these, and I'm going to stamp 1 month on each one. Okay? I'm just going to kind of eyeball. This is centered. I'm going to hold it for a second, let the ink absorb. All right, January. I'm going to do all the way through December, and then once they're all done, we'll go ahead and I will show you the next part. Okay? All right, so we're going to kind of give these the same treatment that we gave the others, in that we're going to go ahead and ink the edge here. of both the front plate and of the back plate, bottom matting. And I'm thinking I might use the typeset. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go ahead and ink up both sides of one and take a look at it and make a decision if I want to do it this way and then put it on my card, or if I want to do it the other way and have it this way. You know, I kind of like the typewriter, but I'll have to look and see how this looks on my base. And of course, this, you know, this is just a matter of personal aesthetics. But I'm going to take a look just to kind of give myself an idea. I kind of like it. So I think I'm going to use my typeset side. So I'm going to go ahead and ink all of these up, get all my months done and all of my plate pieces, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to put these together, okay? I'll be right back. All right, so once we have these all inked up, we're going to lay them out like this: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Then you're going to take your pieces, and what you're going to do is you're going to glue your date down to each one, okay? So I'm going to get some glue here real quick, and we're going to walk through the first one. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue, and then we're going to put it centered on our mat, and then we're going to glue this onto a piece of our 110-pound cardstock. Okay, once we have that, we're going to work on the next one, which is going to be February. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this one on the back. So we're going to glue this up. We're going to put it on our mat. Glue on the back. And you know, you don't have to do these all the same direction. If you want to do half of them going, you know, this way and the other half on the back piece, that works too. And then we're going to turn January over, and we're going to put February on. And so we're going to do this on all of these, okay? So you're going to have March on the front, April on the back, May on the front, June on the back, so on down the line. So you have January, you have February, okay? So once we have all of those done, we'll get back together and I'll show you how to assemble. All right, so we are ready to go here. We have our base, 4 picture corners, 2 latch rings, 2 stacks of numbers, 0 through 3, and then 0 through 9. We have all of our months: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And we have our coin envelope. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take our coin envelope and we're going to cut this down to 3 3/4. Discard the rest. And now this is a matter of personal preference. I like to do it because it makes it easier for me. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little thumb nip there. And this is actually going to go inside of here. Now, you could put it on the back if you want to, and that's why we didn't do it until this point. You could put it on the back if you want to. That's perfectly acceptable. Remember, you're going to have your flips going. Or you can put it on the inside. Your choice. I think I'm going to put mine on the back. So I'm just going to get out some double-sided tape for this because it doesn't have to be all that overly secure. Okay. Now, when you put this on, you want to make sure that your pieces aren't going to be sticking out. So make sure you set this back reasonably far, okay? And then just press it down. And this is going to be to store your months in. Okay? And they all go in there. And they fit in there just fine. Just like that. Alright, so the next part is to take your stack 0 through 3. And we're going to put these on the left side. Just click that on. And then we're going to take the other stack, the 0 through 9. We're going to put that on the other side. Go. Now we have our month. So to do this, you are going to take your photo corners and put one onto each of the corners of your paper. There's 1 and 2. Now if you would prefer to use, like, you know, corners of paper, that's fine too. We're going to lay this down. We're going to figure out where our month should be. Right about there. And then we're just going to press our photo corners down. Take the month out. Hit it with your bone folder just to make sure they're nice and secure. And then go ahead and pump your month back in. And then you can pop your date. And there's your little calendar. How stinking cute is that, right? And it works forever and ever and ever because you don't have the year on it, but you do have the date. Today's the 24th of November. There it is. And as you just change out your days, you either flip this over or grab a new one out of the back, and that's it. All right, that is the project of the month, guys. If you have any questions, remember you have extra photo corners. You can always put those in the envelope or, you know, tape them into the back here or whatever. If you have any questions on this one, do not hesitate to reach out. I hope that you all enjoy this kit as much as I enjoyed designing it and putting it together for you. Until I see you again, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that red button for me and subscribe, like me, ring my bell, and share me with all your friends. Bye-bye.